Hi again, everybody. I have a message here from Anonymous, and here's her story. Dear Ollie, please keep me anonymous. I cannot contribute at this time. As you read my story, it'll be clear why. I apologize. I have been watching your videos from some time now, and I really appreciate all that you do. I will keep my story as short as possible and appreciate any advice you can give to me. I met my narcissistic abuser 5 years ago. There was physical and sexual abuse almost immediately after I moved in with him. That lasted about a year and a half. Eventually, during a drunken rage, he choked me, and while choking me, said that I was about to die. I got away from him and called the cops. He was arrested for domestic violence. He swore he'd never hit me again, and he didn't. The sexual abuse did continue, and I'm not ready to talk about it just yet. The mental abuse was happening without me knowing it was happening. Triangulation is his favorite tool to hurt me. Always talking about other women, younger women. I am 42 years old, so he would constantly talk about college-age women and even younger than that, obsessing over young celebrities and even strangers at the grocery store. He owns a business in our town and would talk about women at the offices and places we clean. I worked for him as well, as I was not allowed a job outside of our home. If I wanted to work, I had to work the business with him. It wasn't easy work, and there was never any time for me to get my hair done or try to look nice. He would make sure I had no time to fix my hair or look nice. Yet he would constantly talk about someone else's hair and nails and clothes. Working with him was a nightmare in itself, and I won't go into that because I'm sure you already know how he treated me. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how loyal to him and his business, I was never good enough. In the idealization phase, everything I did was perfect, but once the devalue stage hit, I wasn't good enough. Then after a while, he would fire me. I would be isolated at the house with no money and no car, depending on him for everything. He controlled all the money, and if when I could come back, he controlled all the money, and if and when I could come back to work, he bought all my clothes, shoes, and basic necessities. I haven't picked out my own purse or outfit since I met him. We have broken up 6 times, and each time I moved back in with my dad, living off whatever money my ex decided to give me. Whenever I feel like I will survive here, he comes and I take him back. It has now been 7 months since I have received what I believe was my final discard. I was crazy with anxiety and not sleeping well, that I am just now actively looking for a job. I was not allowed friends or any sort of social life while with him, and I'm also just getting all of my friends back. He even deleted he even deleted my Facebook permanently 2 years ago, and I was never able to get it back. He's changed my email and my phone number each time I take him back. He took he took over my entire life, and I'm finally getting it back. There's so much more, but it would take forever to go into. I'm sure you can already imagine anyway. It sounds crazy now that I'm finally sharing my story, but I didn't see any of it happening. He always had what seemed to be a good reason for everything. It happened slowly, and I was obviously in denial big time. This last time we broke up, he gave me quite a bit more money than usual, but I'm nearly broke now. Hopefully I will have a job soon. I've actually gotten jobs during a couple breakups, and he came back, oddly enough, the day before I was to start both jobs. It's like he instinctively knew I was moving on. Of course, he would say he needed me to work the business with him and didn't want me taking these jobs. Last year, I had become suicidal, was nearly drinking myself to death when I went to therapy and found out what I was up against with this sorry ass bastard. Even then, even after that, I still went back to him, hoping and praying he would finally treat me right. I am not perfect though. Each time I went back, I did not become more Each time I went back, I did not become more submissive. In fact, just the opposite. I became very difficult and fought him every step of the way. I raged and went crazy every time I caught him in a lie, or when he would barely step out of line. Every time I went back, I put up with less and less. Now I have a new problem. I was reaching out to him, texting him, wanting closure and an apology, which we all know that doesn't happen, and he ignored every text, so I finally stopped. I decided no more. I decided to do the work on self-care and begin to heal. I went over 3 months without texting him. I was so proud. I was getting better. I was getting better a little every day. I am physically feeling healthy again, which is amazing because when I'm with him, I'm sick a lot. My hair was falling out. I was overweight. He did his best to sabotage any sort of weight loss I attempted. I'm finally back in shape and what I thought to be doing so much better. Then the other day, I heard that his business was nominated for best business in his field in our town. Something he has wanted for years. I don't know why, but it made me feel crazy. I drank one too many beers Friday night and texted him the most humiliating text you could send to an abuser. I begged him to take me back and just made a fool of myself. I was ignored, of course. My question to you is, how do I get over this feeling of complete injustice? Everyone thinks he's just this great businessman with lots of money and success. Here I am desperately searching for work, trying to start over with no car, no bank account, no life to speak of. He always said he would help me get a car, but that day never came. He just gets away with everything. I can recover from the drunken texts. I can recover from the drunken text I sent, but not the fact that he gets to go on about life as if nothing ever happened. I know there are a lot more stories more severe than mine, and my heart breaks for everyone who has a narcissistic abuser as a parent. Also, for the woman trying to get away with small children, I've never gone through anything like this, and I'm terrified I'm going to end up bitter, angry woman with no self-esteem, all because I can't let go of the fact that he seems to be doing so well. I saw his sister a couple weeks ago and said she seems happy and carefree these days. What's fucked up is she knows what he's done to me. She knows all about the abuse. I thought she was a friend. I thought she was my friend. In fact, she was the only friend I was allowed to have while with him. Obviously, she's not a friend at all. I didn't ask her how he was doing. Once again, I appreciate you do for all you do for victims, and I appreciate any advice you have for me. Much love and respect. Well, the answer to this is simpler than you think. You worked for his business. He kept hiring you and firing you. Was there a paycheck that you didn't receive monies for? You can sue him for all that. He was arrested for domestic violence, for beating you. There's a mugshot of that as his best business practices. I wonder how all his clients would feel to know, since he's coming in and running a cleaning service, that he's sexually abusive and was arrested for domestic violence. If you were working for him and you weren't drawing any type of paycheck, that is what is known as slavery. That is illegal. And you can sue him for lost wages, for all of that. All of it. And if you helped him build that business, well, then you're pretty much entitled to a good portion, if not half of it, even though you're not married to him, because you were actually working the business. If you ever worked a day for him and he doesn't have paperwork for it, he's fucked. You need to talk to a lawyer. You need to talk to a lawyer. Was he using you for sex? Was the sex a part of the job? It's sexual harassment. There are many, many ways you can push back. And the reason why you're upset at his success is because you helped build it. You helped build it. That's why you're pissed off. And he keeps leaving you with nothing. He keeps leaving you with nothing. And he keeps doing this to you because he's preying on your weaknesses. Don't go back. Don't go back. He's never going to change. What you need to do is call a sexual harassment lawyer. Call an employment attorney. You worked for him with no wages. He took all your money. He kept hiring and firing you. There's a problem there. And he better have business records of it, of what he paid you, tax records, no pay. That's a problem. This relationship at home where he's sexually abusing you, his domestic violence, it's all relevant. Call around, look up look up employment attorneys, look up sexual harassment attorneys. Many of them will take cases on a contingency basis. You want to have some real fun? Go get his mugshot. It's probably still online somewhere. If not, you can get it and request it. And then I'd start handing out his mugshot to every place that employs him. With a link to this video as well. Don't beg him. Don't text him. Don't say anything to him. I understand you're upset and I understand how hurt you are, but that's going to get you nowhere. It's giving him what he wants. He has you under. All you're telling him is, you still have me under your control. The only time he comes back is when you find a job. And why do you think he comes? He knows you're finding a job. Are you putting down that you work there as a reference and they're calling and like, oh, she's getting a job. Now I'm losing grip. Now I'm going back to you. That's what he's doing. I'd research hiring an attorney. I don't know what the common law is, but that's probably why he's been throwing you in and out for years. So he never gets locked in the common law, but bringing you into that business, you got something there, because he better have records for all your employment, what you got paid, tax records, so on and so forth. And I'm sure there are plenty of witnesses. If he goes, she never worked for me, I'm sure there are plenty of witnesses like, yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. So where are your records? Where are my lost wages? Sexual harassment. Treat him like a business, because that's what he was. Sometimes it's just better to treat your narcissistic abuser like a business. Your narcissistic ex is like a business. It's like an old employer. And personally, I think you might have something here. Call around, talk to some attorneys, and see about getting your life back, because you're entitled here. Thank you for your story. I hope your situation gets better. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a narcissist you'd like to expose or a topic you'd like me to cover, you know what to do with the PayPal and my email links in the description box. I'll have the video right back to you. This is Ollie Matthews. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon. Bye.